This is the best way to ensure that your setups are a success. If you want to grow your event rental business, don't skimp out on this step. If you don't know by now, my name is Eddie. I own a $2 million event rental business here in Dallas, Texas. Alongside my business partner Xavier, we've made well over $7 million in business revenue. Today we're going to be going over site visits, what are they, and why do we do them? And stay till the end to see how we do ours. For more information, download our step-by-step guide down below to see how you guys can start doing site visits. So you guys are probably wondering, what is a site visit? For some of you guys that do know, so site visits are basically where a customer calls and maybe they're unsure of what they need, or it's a first-time DIYer and they don't really know too much about events. So they might call on you guys and say, hey, can you come out to my location and like check things out? So while you're on location, you know, they want to make sure that everything that's in their mind will actually work at their location. So that's what a site visit is. Basically, you're going to their location, wherever they're planning to have the event, making sure what they believe is possible is actually possible, and, you know, taking measurements, maybe helping the customer, I guess, their whole dream event come true. What's your expertise? You know, it could be anything from like lighting, electrical sourcing, disaster planning, all these different things you kind of do on the site visit. A site visit is generally done, you know, prior to the event. Sometimes in some instances, you know, it might be like a day before the event. And those, you know, are kind of more of a seal the deal kind of thing. Because if they're coming to you that late into the event, then you're pretty much their last hope. So you can charge pretty much whatever, but whenever, you know, the next day, it basically has to be done, the whole, like, you know, setting up of their items or whatever. They pretty much guarantee they're gonna go with you. But generally, people do site visits maybe like a week, and they tend to try to do it a little bit closer to the actual date because the weather changes dramatically. You know, if they do a site visit maybe like a month or two, it maybe just be for the general, like, you know, length of items and stuff like that. But more so like whenever weather can be like present during the springtime, you know, you get a lot of rain, high winds, sunny, not sunny, is the times that they do it a little closer to their event times. 100%, I would say, you guys, you need to start charging for the site visits, because like on my previous video, I mentioned that a site visit like charge is like an anchor, right? You know, it doesn't have to be anything like huge. Like you can charge, you know, we charge $75 here, which isn't anything big. We've tried to charge more, but then we just found that we have a big drop off of people that decide not to do a site visit. And, you know, pretty much like I mentioned, once you do the site visit, you're almost guaranteed to do the work, because most people are like, well, I paid money with this company already. I don't want to look for anybody else. And on top of that, it takes time. Most people, they don't want to spend the time again with some other random person, and they don't want to go over everything all over again. So yeah, 100%, if you guys do decide to do site visits, please charge, because it's going to help you out on closing the deal. And also, it keeps a little money in the bank. We use that site visit money basically going towards the balance, so they don't really lose. So that's why the customers love to do it. But you guys, you know, you have the option. You can just say, well, the site visit is a site visit. It costs this much. So if you want to do something for just, you know, pure profits, you can do that as well.
If you need just a little bit of extra help starting or growing your own business, please check out the link below for our free ultimate checklist. This is an ebook written by both Eddie and Xavier using their 5 years in business, showing you how you could do the same.
All right, guys. So you finally got the call. Customer says, all right, I'm down. Let's go do a site visit. And now you're out in the location and you're wondering, what are you exactly going to do? Each project, I guess, persists of different kind of aspects that you're going to look into. Like, for instance, sometimes I'll go on a site and the customer is just really worried about having an optimal number of tables and chairs. Another thing a site visit is good to do is kind of see like what kind of customer you're dealing with. It's going to be your very first interaction with them, so you're going to kind of very soon, they're going to kind of show you their true colors per se. You can kind of test the waters with them, ask certain questions like, hey, what type of event is this? Okay, I see that you have this many items on your quote. Like, what is your vision? Like, because like what they have on their quote might not actually reflect on what they want to do on the actual site. So ask these different kind of questions, see what the objective of the whole event is. Then you can start upselling them and say, hey, you're gonna want like linen. We're gonna want to, if you're gonna be sitting down for multiple hours, we're gonna need like a comfortable chair. So maybe you'll get like a shibari chair with a cushion and stuff like that. So just basically pick their brain. If you're on the site visit, let's say for our bounce house people, you know, you can check and say, okay, well, this bounce house will fit, but it's gonna take up your whole backyard. So like, I know you wanna have the kids sitting over here, but it's just gonna be like almost impossible. Or also, like, sometimes people do water slides. You know, when they're coming down this water slide and splashing, you might get your guest wet, you know, if there's not sufficient room to space out the tables, stuff like that. You know, I'm gonna be looking at, if we're doing tents, I'm gonna be checking the ground, like what type of ground am I dealing with? Is it like gravel, soft ground? Does it have like a lot of indentions? Like I said earlier, I'm gonna be thinking about rain. So like, how's this gonna affect my stakes? You know, is it like an open field where the wind's gonna hit it really easily? Or is it like in a housing area where these houses are basically gonna be blocking the wind? So a lot of different things I'm gonna be looking at. But just overall, I'm gonna make sure that, you know, what's possible and what the customer wants are aligning. And that's where I'm gonna correct any kind of things that they might think that, you know, it's possible, and it's actually not. And then also, I'm gonna look at like outlets. I'm gonna make sure that the outlet that they do have, that it works, what kind of voltage you got. I know the bounce house guys, they use like blowers and stuff like that. It may trip the breaker, you know, for older houses. So I'm gonna be looking at all these kind of things, possible problems, solutions, and then I'm gonna present it to the customer. That way, whenever we do go do the setup, at that point, anything that goes wrong, they're gonna basically blame it on us. So I'm gonna do my due diligence, go over everything, making sure that everything's checked off. So if the customer declines it, I'm like, hey, the site visit, I addressed the issue. You know, we're here now and we're having this issue. It's basically your fault. Because most times, if anything happens, you know, the customer automatically blames you. So this site visit is kind of one of those things that kind of deter those things, because you're going to present all the possible issues in front of the customer and they can buy it or not. But some of the tools that I do use, I have them right here with me. So one of the most easiest things that I like when I initially started off was just like, you know, a roll of tape, a tape measure. Basically, I grab this. Oh, and I usually get like a little stake. This is like one of our turf stakes that we use, but you can use like the little canopy stakes, I guess they're like this tall. Just put it down there, push it with your foot, and then like kind of anchor this thing. Because I think the customer kind of sometimes, I find that they don't want any kind of involvement, so they're not going to be there holding the tape with you, like, okay, let me measure this bad boy out. And it just kind of makes it more professional, like, you know, you don't need any help. So yeah, just, you know, stake this down, pull it out, you know, measure out things. But you know, if you don't want to get this, you want something a little bit more easier that you don't have to worry about staking anything. You can also use one of these measuring wheels. With these, you know, you just basically, you know, zero it out, and then once you zero it out, you you know, you basically put it on the ground, you walk with it, and then once you get to your stopping point, it tells you how many feet that was that you just measured out. So a really helpful tool, makes you look very professional. And yeah, you won't have to bother with the actual tape. But if you want to do the tape measure route, you can do that. Sometimes I find this is better than the wheel. Or if it's like, you know, there's sometimes like I go out like a huge field and this just isn't sufficient because it's only 100 feet. So I'm gonna need the wheel, because we've done jobs before where we did like thousands of square foot of turf, and they wanted like 200 feet walkway of turf from the parking lot all the way to their event. So the wheel came in handy versus trying to do this tape and stake it down. But yeah, those are some of the tools you're gonna use. I know that there are like lasers as well that you can use, but just wherever you're at in your business, just like keep in mind like the terrain and any kind of possible problems that you might have when you do the site visits. These two tools, I mean, literally you can get them anywhere. These are a little bit more expensive. Like I'm at Home Depot all the time. I feel like Home Depot is like our to-go company, whether it's for tools or extra labor. So like this, I got it from Home Depot. But if you want to be like, they have them cheaper. Like if you go to Harbor Freight, they have them cheaper. I think it's a 100-foot roll. I know they have some that are like $250. So if you want the bigger ones, it's just more costly. I think it's like $45, something like that. At Harbor Freight, I think it was like $20-something. So a big price difference. And then this wheel is the same thing. I got it from Home Depot. I think it was like $70 or something like that. The stake, I mean, you can buy them at Walmart if you want. Like they're just regular canopy stakes, or these are like turf stakes. I guess you can buy them from Home Depot as well. They sell them like a pack of 50. but it's not really necessary if you don't want to. Like I said, the only thing that sucks with the tape is like this one has like a little hook on it, but sometimes it comes loose. You see how small it is? So that's why I'll just use this, and I'll put my foot and I'll shove it down on the ground. That way it's not going anywhere. Because when you're pulling the tape, nothing sucks more than you're like halfway, the thing pops up and you're like, crap, you have to go back to it and re-put it in the ground. So yeah, they're really cheap tools. Like basically for your first site visit, it'll pay for the tool, you know what I mean? And it makes you look professional. So ever since we've done site visits, it has really helped us out as far as avoiding issues, because like we can get in front of them and address them early versus when we're on site with everything that the customer thought that they need, and yeah, it's not gonna work. And then now they're upset, because rightfully so, because then, especially if it's a wedding, imagine a wedding and the bride's like, oh my God, or the husband, right? You know, the husband like, oh, I did the measuring, and then you get there and you're like, yeah, husband, your measuring wasn't very good. It kind of sucked, because like, there's no way this is gonna fit. And then now the wife's mad at the husband. It's happened a lot of times. So instead of like, you know, getting people in the doghouse, you know, or putting stress on people the day prior to their event, or even the day of their event, we prefer to do site visits, and it just helps out everybody. And we explain that to the customer too, like, hey, I see we have a really tight, time frame that you want us to deliver the same day and like set it up, and then within the next 2 hours, your event's gonna start. We need to do a site visit, and we express to them like, okay, 'cause a lot of things can happen. Like we've been in this business for a long time, and if anything can happen, it will happen. So we want to make sure that we're prepared for the worst case scenario and your event's successful. Most customers like, that's a no-brainer, and the amount that I'm gonna pay you guys is gonna go towards my balance. Like, yep, okay, yeah, come on down. And then they're just more at ease, and they're like, yes. So it just like helps us out, like figure out, if there is any issues, what they're planning, and it just makes things a lot more easier, because like I mentioned earlier, whenever whenever things happen wrong, it's always at the worst time. You're like, why today? I didn't need this. Like I couldn't afford this mistake. And so like when you do this, then you're gonna tell yourself, I should have listened to the rental boys. They said to do a site visit, and now look at me. Because then that one mistake can now affect like 6 other customers. You know what I mean? So get ahead of the ball. Express to the customer like, hey, let's do a site visit, and just sell them on it. It's very easy. It's gonna help you out, with all your problems. I'm not gonna say all your problems will be gone, but it will eliminate a huge amount of them. Then also it's gonna help you out, like upsell too, because you're gonna be on site. You're like, hey, I would suggest do this, and they're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, let's do that. So you'll thank me later.
If you need a website or software to help you manage your own business, please check out our software, Rent More Pro. This is a software that is able to help you manage your own inventory, send out instant quotes and invoices, as well as route your deliveries, and so much more. Please check it out using the link below for a free demo today.
I know, guys, I know. It's in the video. But hopefully this really helps your business out in growing, and not only growing, but also getting ahead of the game and not make the mistakes that the customers will put you in a situation. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm part of the Rental Boys. Me, Tina, and Xavier want to thank you guys so much. Please subscribe, like, comment, and if you have any other tips or tricks that we need to go over, just feel free to reach out to us and we'll get back to you guys. Otherwise, see you in the next video.